I want to introduce you to Storm. This is a 6-year-old thoroughbred mare who was bought out of a sale, rescued essentially. When they brought her home, the vet looked at her and assessed her condition score to be less than 1, essentially a half of body condition score. The fact that this mare could even walk on or off a trailer is really pretty dramatic. So when you look at a horse now, and this has been about 4 months since they brought her home, and they've got her up from a condition score of about a half to where this mare now is a condition score of about 4.5 approaching 5. And when you look at that condition score, you can visually see her ribs just barely when you look at the right angle, but they're starting to get some pretty good cover. But then if you walk up here, you can palpate them pretty easily, and so you can assess that along with the top line. You can see she doesn't have a lot of cover over the top line and through the tail head, and she's healthy, and she's going to continue to get more healthy, and that top line's going to come back over time. It takes time considering where she was, and the hooves tell a little bit of that story. You can see sometimes the rings in a horse's feet will tell either poor nutrition or health issues. You can see she's starting to grow out a much healthier, smoother, stronger hoof from just being on good care and good nutrition all the way around. So she's a lucky mare to have ended up here, and the rest of her life is going to be a lot better than the one she's known, that's for sure. I want to introduce Elizabeth Parker, and I think you have something she might be interested in. And so you were at a sale, and how did this happen?
I had looked at a horse previously, so we had a trailer with us, and in walking around the back parts of the auction, there was a particular pen that had a very bright black and white little pony, and this just absolutely pathetic, starved red mare. And at first evaluation, she seemed like she would be a much older horse with the condition that she was in, maybe just 20s, late 20s. And the two of them were very close. And just in going in and interacting and trying to give her a treat, just sort of bonding and seeing the sweetness in her eyes and feeding her a little bit, and then just really connecting with her. She was in such horrible, horrible shape, the worst I'd ever seen. And really then after that, not being able to keep from doing something.
Yeah.
When I did have the vet come out to evaluate her, and he did give me the, just be prepared for the worst. She's in really bad shape. And I just sort of let him know all of the different advice I'd received from people across the country, different organizations I'd researched. And he looked in the feed room, and he looked at our huge stacks of strategy, and he said, your answer's right here. You have everything you need right here. Strategy
is a really good choice because it's got a really good protein and amino acid profile, which is going to help this top line, okay? And it complements almost any other forage you'd want to feed, so it works well with about any type of grass or grass alfalfa mix hay that you're feeding. And it also is relatively low in starch and sugar, and for horses that are making their way back, you don't want to certainly overwhelm the system with too high levels of starch and sugar in a given meal. And it's very palatable and extremely digestible. So there's lots of good reasons why strategy works well. And for you've got more than one horse. You've got several horses here with lots of different needs and different lifestyles and conditions, so that simplifies life on a farm that's got a lot of different horses as well. So to bring this mare back to this in about 4 or 5 months, almost gaining a condition score per month. But as I said earlier, we can provide all the best hay and nutrition possible. But if you don't have somebody willing to take care of them, like you have, then it really doesn't matter. So if you really want to look for the reason this mare is still standing here today, you can just look in the mirror and feel pretty good about that, I think. Through all the different times in life, people feel on some levels survivors of something. And I looked in her eyes and I saw that she was still strong, and she is very sweet. I mean, this is a sweet horse, and she was, even that first time, in this sort of connection, looking in her eyes and that kindness. Not crazy, just sweet, like, put some faith in me, trust me. I'll get back, I'll be wonderful. And she was right. And I had no experience with thoroughbreds at all. Someone had said that they're tattooed right inside their lips so that you can make sure that all horses on tracks are legitimate. And
we had flipped her lip and saw that she had it, and it was sort of hard to read, hard to distinguish the difference between an 8 or a B. I didn't know enough, and I didn't want to traumatize her too much when she had just arrived. But I knew that would be something that we would really love to know. First couple days we called her Vita for life, and I was photographing her, calling her Vita updates. Thought we should really find out what her name is and find out if there's something else we should be calling this mare. And people are very kind, and I called the jockey club, the registration, and just said, hey, I've got this number. Could you please tell me if I've got a match? And I read it to her, and I sent her a photograph, some of the original photographs I'd provided of her skinny with the rain rot and legs practically black from the grime. And she said, no, it's not a match. I'm sorry. Is there any other marking that you're not noticing? And so I'm thinking, well, she's got this beautiful little skinny white streak on her nose. I wonder if that's what she means. And I called the lady back. I said, but there's a white spot on her nose. Is that it? And she said, no. Have you given the horse a bath? We got some nice soap out and just very gently started to scrub. And I washed her leg off and realized there was another white foot. I was really thrilled, and the woman, I called her from my cell phone and was pretty excited, and I said, wait a minute, there's another white foot. And she said, that's it, I'm looking at the picture, she has 2 white feet. And I said, so you know who it is? And she said, yes, that is her own Storm. She is the great-great-granddaughter of Secretariat. I wasn't quite expecting something that majestic. I just wanted to know her name. I mean, hasn't changed the amount that we love her, but it certainly has explained why she feels so special and why she felt special that first time we met. And she said, I'm somebody. I may be skinny, but I'm somebody.